Welcome back, folks, to segment number 2 here on week number 5 of the Football Insiders Football Challenge here. And Terry, get us started off here.
Okay, so we have the Vikings going to the Giants. This is a total toss-up for me because the Giants surprised with a win to me last week. Vikings surprised with a loss. So both teams are 2-2. Vikings favored by 4.5 on the road seems like too much for me, just based on what happened last week. Although Dalvin Cook shows up for a game, who knows? I've got the Vikings lost to Green Bay and Chicago, and they beat Atlanta and Oakland. Giants, they lost to Dallas and Buffalo. Buffalo, if it wasn't for playing New England, could be an undefeated team here.
Yeah.
We've only got 3 left in the NFL, by the way. And Dallas, they beat Tampa and Washington. Washington looks like they're not very good this year. Tampa, on the other hand, looks like a contender. So this is a tough game. Me personally, I'm going to take the Giants at home, getting 4.5. Don't like it, though. I wouldn't bet your money on this game.
No, and I have no money to bet on it, folks, but I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to take the experienced quarterback in this, Kirk Cousins. I know he's been a little inconsistent so far this year. I think they right this ship this week.
I'm going to go with the Vikings as well. I'll tell you why. Because Daniel Jones, you did good against the Redskins, but like Terry said, they might be the worst team in the NFL.
The Dolphins
are probably have a lock on them.
So basically, you're back on the Horky bandwagon.
Kind of. But anyway.
You need to go before him next time so he can be on your bandwagon. Just because he gets to talk first.
Anyway.
Doesn't mean it's his bandwagon.
Gary does have a point. Kirk Cousins, even though I think he stinks, is still better than Daniel Jones. He's still unproven to me.
Right.
He had a couple good games, but the rest remains to be seen. I'm going to take the Vikings.
Yeah. Like I said, a tough game to call. And the next game is in the same category. Jaguars 2-2 going to the 2-2 Panthers. Panthers look pathetic first 2 weeks. They've come around since then. Jaguars, I just don't know. I think they're 3.5-point underdog on the road.
Terry, you know what? This is going to be a really interesting game, folks, because we got 2 young quarterbacks here. Super exciting. Cam Newton, watch out. Kyle Allen will probably take your job if he continues to improve. And Gardner Minshew is just... Minshew. I'm sorry, Gardner Minshew.
Former Cougar, by the way.
Former Cougar, he says. And I happen to be on this former Cougar. I am taking the Jaguars on the road, getting the points. First of all, I like the name Gardner. That's a cool name. So I'm going to go with that.
Panthers have played better since their
quarterback change.
But again, I was a Minshew fan a long time ago, so I got to go with the Jaguars in this game and the +3. A lot of underdogs covered this last week, so watch those point spreads. I think last Sunday I heard of the 8 early games, 7 road teams won early. A couple of them were favorites, but
right.
There were a lot more underdogs actually won outright last week than the other way around.
Okay, you guys have a good point with the Minshew and the Allen bit. But I'll tell you what, the difference in this game to me is the defense. I'll take Jacksonville's defense all day getting 3.5. Not only that, the Panthers are nobody to be giving 3.5 to anyone. I'll take the Jaguars.
They played better since they changed the quarterback.
Can I go with the Horky bandwagon again?
Well, again, it's not fair that you went first.
It's a small bandwagon.
It's a small bandwagon.
Let's get to the next game here. We've got the Bears at 3-1 going to the Raiders 2-2. Raiders looked good this last week. Bears shut down the Vikings. Bears are 4.5-point favorite on the road. I think this is a tough one. I'm going to listen to hear what Dave's bandwagon.
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to go with the Bears.
Bears.
They started off the season shaky. Now they're on track. Raiders are playing okay now. They had a big win last week, but still, that don't mean I'm jumping on their bandwagon. I'm taking the Bears.
Dave makes a good point. The Bears got the best defense in the National Football League
that I've seen.
But Trubisky, there's a good chance he's not going to play. Chase Daniels probably will be the starting quarterback.
Chase Daniels might be better than
he very well might be, not sure. But for that reason, I'm going to take the Oakland Raiders in Oakland. I like them. I'm going to take the points at home.
Boy, I shouldn't have waited till last. I'm going to take the Raiders as well. Does that mean I'm on your
bandwagon? Yeah, Terry's on the Horky bandwagon. Oh, as Dave says, though, it's a little red wagon.
It's a small club.
And the last game in this segment, Terry.
Okay, we got the Buccaneers going to the Saints. 2-2 Buccaneers. A good big win last week over the Rams.
55 points.
Go figure.
Offensive turnout there. Rams 3-1. Their only loss to Seattle. Actually, no, they beat Seattle. That was our
Yeah.
win loss prior to this last week. Don't know, 4.5-point favorite. I think this is a tough game to call. I like the Buccaneers in the way they're surging after a 55-point performance this last week. Saints with the with the backup quarterback. Boy, I like the 4.5. I think this could be a field goal type game. So I'm taking the Buccaneers.
All right. Well, I'm going to disagree with Terry. Still, I've never been a Jameis Winston fan. Not a Teddy Bridgewater fan yet either, because he hasn't really proven that he's all of that. But I'm going to take the Saints at home. I think the crowd will be the difference here, and the special teams will come into play. So I'm going to take the Saints.
Okay, I'm going Tampa Bay here. Saints played Dallas. I don't think Dallas's defense is all that. They only scored 4 field goals against Dallas. They got the win in a good defensive game. Tampa Bay can score. You better be ready to score when you play them.
If they score like they did the last 2 weeks.
I don't look for that, but I think they're going to score. They're going to put 21-24 up. I think the Buccaneers give them a hard time.
Okay.
I'll hide behind a 4.5.
Good to see Dave on the Terry bandwagon.
Oh,
Yeah, there you
jeez. Poor Dave, you just can't get your own dang on wagon.
No,
No, he did. He started the bandwagon. He got on hey, he took the Bears and nobody joined him.
Oh, that's
the
true.
problem.
So you're by yourself. All right, folks, that's going to do it for segment number 2. When we come back for segment 3, we're going to talk about the last 3 pro games, and then Terry, Dave, and myself will give you our best picks of the week. Welcome back, folks. Segment number 3 here, and Terry, this is going to be a really interesting game. 2 teams kind of going in the wrong direction here.
Well, you got the Falcons going to the Texans. Texans are 2-2 on the season. Falcons 1-3. I mean, who would have thought that? They were expected to be better this year and possibly in contention. One of the games I was talking about, if they go to 1-4, their season's in trouble. Not that it's over, but they're in trouble.
I agree.
And their coach is on the hot seat, too. He's ready to go. Dan Quinn's ready to get canned.
I think there's some trouble down there. Don't particularly like this game, but I'm going to take the Texans. Deshaun Watson happens to be my fantasy quarterback.
Oh, wonder why.
So there's a connection to that pick. I need to see him score and score often.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with my theory. You take the better quarterback. Matt Ryan is by far the better quarterback, and he has probably, Davey, one of the best receivers in the National Football League, and Julio Jones.
Hall of Famer for sure.
So for that reason, I don't think the Texans have anybody in their defensive backfield that can guard him. And so if they can protect Ryan, I think he throws it out there. I think they get within the 5.5. So I'm going to take the Falcons.
Want me to go?
Yep.
Okay.
You're up. No, you're the last one.
What did you take and who did you take?
I took the Texans.
He took the Texans.
You had a good point about Texans not having a secondary. That's what cost them last year in the playoffs. They have no secondary. Falcons, that coach is on the hot seat. I'm going to go Falcons here. I think Dan Quinn makes it another game.
Okay, I'm not going to say it.
Okay, next game I think is a good game here. We got the Bills going to the Titans. Titans had a good win last week. Bills lost, but it was actually a good loss.
Oh.
They lost 16 to 10 or 16 to 13.
It was a spread covering defeat.
Yeah.
I had the Bills. That extra point that won.
Yeah.
I think the Patriots are so far look like the best team in football. They put up
agree.
A good struggle in defeat.
Them and the Chiefs.
Could have been 3-0. Them, the Chiefs, and actually San Francisco. I was going to mention the 3 undefeated teams. We've got 2 4-0s, New England and Kansas City. We got 1 3-0, which is San Francisco.
Yes, 49ers
4 weeks
playing
into
good.
it, only 3 teams undefeated. So
Unbelievable.
I don't expect in week 6 we'll have
No.
one team maybe there.
Probably.
We'll see what the deal is. So in this game, Bills are getting 2.5 at 3-1. Mariota had a good game last week. It's hard to go. You just don't know from one week to the next in the NFL. Based on what I seen last week, I like the Titans here, but I like the record. I like what the Bills are doing. I think they're a much improved team. I'm going to take the 2.5. On the road. That's a game I might even look at money line for a wager.
Well, normally I would have agreed with Terry on this, but Davey and I talked about this before we got started, and Josh Allen is in concussion protocol right now. He has not been cleared to play in this game. So I am a little worried about it is Matt Barkley as their backup.
He's horrible.
And he's a USC Pac-12 guy. Of course, folks, if you know me, I don't like the Pac-12.
He's horrible.
So for that reason, I'm taking the Titans at home because I don't know what I'm going to get at quarterback.
You know what? I would have took the Titans even if I knew Allen was playing from the Bills. Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans, he
They're
says.
good. They're going to.
Okay, last game of the contest, we got the Packers 3-1 going to the Cowboys 3-1. A good matchup here. The Cowboys are a favorite of 4.5 points being at home. I'll start. I like the Cowboys at home.
All right. Well, once again, I'm going with my theory. The better quarterback, hands down, Aaron Rodgers. I'm not convinced that the Cowboys have that great of a defense yet. Packers much improved. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers and take the 4.5 points.
Boy, Packers coming off the big loss to the Eagles and Cowboys coming off a big loss to the Saints. They put Cowboys at 4.5 point favorites. I'm not sold on the Packers still. Boy, it kills me to take. I'd sooner lose. I'll take the Packers.
Okay, and that's all.
Okay, so now who are we going to
Follow
do?
me on that one.
So, Terry, who's your best bet of the week?
You know, going through these games, as long as we got to stick to these games,
Which we do. I mean,
I like TCU.
I mean,
I really think they've got the better team. They have the better offense. It's always hard going against a home team in college. It means more in college than it does in the pros. I just think they've got more firepower in the offense. We'll see.
well, my best bet is going to be
I'm getting 4.5 points too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm going to give points. I'm going to take the Auburn Tigers as my best bet of the week.
Boy.
Nice pick, Dave.
Is that the one you
I'll
wanted?
tell you what. I'm going to take the Vikings over the Giants, just like I said. Giants had a couple wins over nobody. Vikings are the Vikings. They still have a great defense. They'll come out to play. Vikings got to get this win. I'll take the Vikings, my play of the week.
All right, there you have it, folks. So, hey, come out Monday night. We've got the small pretzel for $3.95. We have the super large pretzel for $9. We've been having some great crowds. We're having a lot of fun, lots of giveaways. This week, it's going to be a good one. The undefeated 49ers against, well, the much hyped Cleveland Browns. So
That should be a good game.
should be a good
Monday
game,
Night
folks.
Football's due for one.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
3.5 points on the line right now. So
That's what it is?
Yep. 49ers are getting the home field advantage.
All right, for my buddy Davey, for my buddy Terry, I'm Gary. Goodbye, everybody.